On Jesus' journey to the cross, today is Wednesday, the fourth day. In less than 48 hours, Jesus is going to be hanging on the cross. And it's a critical moment of his life. He finds time for beauty. Today's scripture is from Mark chapter 14, 1 to 11. On Wednesday, we find Jesus in a very interesting place. It's 48 hours before he's going to be submitted to one of the most brutal types of death. He'll be betrayed, he'll be abandoned, but we don't find him anxious or trying to finalize some details of his life. We find him at a dinner table. And in this dinner table, there's something that happens that is incredible. This woman comes from behind him, and she has on her hands, she has this jar with a very expensive perfume. She breaks the neck of that jar, and then she drops the perfume on the head of Jesus. Now remember that the perfume at that time, it was oil-based. As she poured that oil on his hair, and it flows through his hair into his clothes, into his skin, and there's something that most of us don't realize when you use a perfume that is oil-based. When I lived in Dubai, they still do perfumes, and people love perfumes in the area, and they use oil-based perfume. And what happens is the perfume gets stuck in your skin and your clothing. Even if you will wash it, and even if you go to sleep, whatever you do, the perfume will still be there for a couple of days. And when people look at that and they said, "Oh, this is a waste," Jesus says, just leave her alone. She is doing something that is beautiful. And it is interesting that Jesus points to this thing of beauty because there is a connection between the beauty that he sees in her and how he finds strength in that moment, in that beauty, that will propel him to go through the difficult times that are ahead of him. And that reminds me of a Bible text, "Let there be light." One of the things that I'm learning as I'm recording videos for the church YouTube channel is that there is extremely importance of learning how to master the way that you capture light. So light reveals beauty. If in darkness, you can't see that beauty. So you could translate that first sentence in the Bible to say, "Let there be beauty." And the beauty that is revealed by the light that is brought into the environment is what Jesus is pointing to. So in our lives, in moments of crisis like now, sometimes we tend to think that everything is darkness, but there is beauty around us, but we can't notice. Sometimes we just think that we think that there are ways or something else, but not beauty. And Jesus taught his disciples and ourselves this truth: "I am the light of the world, and whoever follows me will not live in darkness, but will have the light of life." So Jesus is this light that reveals the beauty, and he's pointing to that understanding that if we pay attention, there is enough beauty around us, and that beauty will form who we are, and we will transform us to have a beautiful life. And here's an interesting thing. A beautiful life that we live reveals a beautiful God. That's the reason that Jesus said, you are the light of the world. So let your light shine and point to God and glorify God. Make God beautiful. Your beautiful life shows the beautiful God that you serve. And this is the lesson I want you to think about today. The beauty that Jesus found in the middle of the week gave him strength and illuminated his life, so his life would be a beautiful life even through the darkest moment in history. So I want you to think about these questions today. First, where can you find beauty around you in the midst of this crisis? Second question, how each of this beauty that you can notice around you speaks of God. The third one is how God is transforming you through these beautiful things that he has surrounded you with. In a moment of a crisis like now, it is precisely the right time to pay attention to the beauty that is around us. Jesus said, look at the birds, look at the flowers, look at nature, look at the smile of your children around you. There's so much beauty around you. May the beauty of God light your life today.